300,000 XCN. What could that be worth by 2026? At the time of recording, XCN is trading around $0.018, with a market cap of approximately $622 million. If you're holding that amount or thinking about it, the big question is, how much could it be worth in the next bull run? Let's break down the numbers, market potential, the latest developments, and what actually needs to happen for XCN to hit new heights by 2026. Let's start with the basics. At the current price of $0.018, 300,000 XCN is worth roughly $5,400. If XCN doubled in price to $0.036, that stash would be worth $10,800. A 3x move to $0.054 would give you $16,200. But of course, in crypto, most people aren't here for just 2x or 3x gains. What we're really asking is, can XCN 10x, 20x, or even more? If XCN were to return to its previous all-time high of around 18 cents, your 300,000 tokens would be worth $54,000. That's a 10x from today's price. But could XCN go even further? Let's explore. First, the market cap potential. At a 18 cents price point, XCN's market cap would be around $5.4 billion. That's still relatively modest in the grand scheme of crypto, especially when compared to larger altcoins that have reached $10 billion or even $20 billion valuations in bull markets. If XCN were to hit a $10 billion market cap, the token price would be approximately 33 cents, making your 300,000 tokens worth around $99,000. If the project ever reached a $15 billion market cap, the price would climb to about 50 cents, meaning your holdings could be worth $150,000. But numbers alone don't tell the full story. For XCN to grow, it needs actual utility and relevance in the evolving blockchain ecosystem. One of the primary focuses of XCN is to provide blockchain infrastructure tailored for financial institutions and enterprises. That's a significant market, especially as more traditional sectors start exploring tokenization of assets, blockchain-based payment systems, and decentralized financial services. In recent months, the XCN team has announced updates aimed at enhancing scalability, transaction speed, and security. These improvements are crucial because in the world of enterprise adoption, performance and reliability can make or break a platform's viability. Financial institutions require robust infrastructure that can handle high transaction volumes without compromising on speed or security. And that's precisely the market XCN is targeting. Another important element is XCN's tokenomics. Earlier this year, the team implemented adjustments to reduce inflation and improve staking rewards. Inflation has been a common issue in many crypto projects, diluting the value of tokens over time. By controlling token emissions and incentivizing holders through staking, XCN is trying to create a healthier economic model that supports long-term price stability and growth. Furthermore, the introduction of governance features allows token holders to participate in key decisions regarding the project's development path. This form of decentralized governance can be attractive to investors who want a say in the evolution of the network, adding an additional layer of engagement beyond just price speculation. Now, let's break down the potential market cap scenarios again with this foundation in mind. If XCN were to capture a $10 billion market cap, that would place the price around 33 cents per token. That values your 300,000 XCN at roughly $99,000. At a $15 billion market cap, the token would be closer to 50 cents, translating to a $150,000 valuation for your holdings. And in a more aggressive bull market scenario where XCN somehow pushes to a $20 billion market cap, we'd be looking at approximately 66 cents per token, making your 300,000 tokens worth nearly $198,000. But for any of these projections to come true, certain conditions must align. So, what exactly needs to happen for XCN to realistically hit these targets? First, mass adoption of blockchain technology by enterprises is essential. There's a growing trend of traditional financial institutions exploring blockchain for payments, settlements, and asset tokenization. If XCN can position itself as a reliable infrastructure provider in this space, the demand for the token will naturally increase. Second, XCN needs to maintain and improve its tokenomics. Simply announcing staking isn't enough. The staking rewards must be competitive, and mechanisms like token burns or buybacks could add deflationary pressure that supports price appreciation. If the team successfully implements and maintains these economic incentives, the token's value could steadily rise. Third, strategic partnerships are critical. Real-world collaborations with major players in finance, technology, or supply chain sectors can validate the project's utility and open doors to mass adoption. Investors and institutions alike pay close attention to partnerships because they signal legitimacy and growth potential. Fourth, the broader crypto market must remain favorable. History shows that altcoins generally follow Bitcoin's trajectory. If Bitcoin embarks on a strong bull run into 2025 and 2026, capital will flow into altcoins like XCN as investors seek higher returns beyond BTC and ETH. Market sentiment, liquidity, and investor confidence all play crucial roles in lifting altcoin prices. Finally, regulatory clarity will be a game changer. As governments and regulators establish clearer guidelines around crypto, especially in terms of security classifications and compliance, projects like XCN that focus on institutional use cases could greatly benefit. A compliant, regulation-friendly blockchain platform is far more attractive to enterprises that need to operate within legal frameworks. Now, let's also talk about competition, because this is something every investor should factor in when evaluating potential. XCN isn't operating in a vacuum. The enterprise blockchain space is getting crowded with established players like Ethereum, which dominates smart contracts, and Layer 1 solutions like Avalanche and Algorand, which have been pushing into the same financial and institutional sectors. Then there are niche players like Quant, focusing heavily on interoperability for banks and institutions. For XCN to stand out, it needs more than just decent tech. It has to market itself effectively, create developer incentives, and prove real-world use cases with measurable outcomes. If it doesn't, there's a risk it gets overshadowed by larger, better-funded projects. Additionally, macro factors will influence XCN's trajectory. Interest rates, global economic health, regulatory crackdowns, and broader institutional interest in crypto all play a role. A positive macro environment could pour fuel on the fire, enabling XCN to rise faster than expected. Conversely, a bearish macro landscape could suppress even the most promising tokens. Another dimension to consider is the psychology of investors. Altcoins like XCN tend to attract attention in bull runs when investors chase higher returns after Bitcoin and Ethereum pump. If that pattern repeats in the next bull cycle, XCN could benefit simply by being part of that altcoin rotation, assuming it maintains visibility and credibility in the space. One often overlooked factor is community strength. Crypto projects with engaged, active communities tend to perform better because they maintain a presence on social media, create buzz, and keep potential investors informed. XCN's community isn't the largest, but if it continues to grow and becomes more vocal, that alone can help sustain interest and price momentum. To wrap up, let's summarize the scenarios for your 300,000 XCN by 2026. In a bearish scenario, where adoption stagnates and the market stays tepid, XCN might only appreciate modestly, reaching 3 cents to 4 cents. That would place the value of your holdings between $9,000 and $12,000. In a moderate scenario, assuming steady growth, decent partnerships, and a moderately bullish market, XCN could climb back to 12 cents to 18 cents, putting your 300,000 tokens between $36,000 and $54,000 in value. In the bullish scenario, where XCN delivers on all fronts, enterprise adoption, strong partnerships, improved tokenomics, and riding the momentum of a booming crypto market, the token could reach 30 cents to 50 cents or higher. That would value your 300,000 XCN between $90,000 and $150,000, potentially even pushing toward $200,000 if things align perfectly. Of course, this is all speculative. Crypto markets are volatile, and prices can shift rapidly based on macroeconomic factors, regulations, and market sentiment. No one can guarantee outcomes, but understanding the drivers behind these price targets gives you a clearer picture of what's possible. So I'm curious, are you holding XCN? What's your personal price target for 2026? Drop a comment below and let me know how many tokens you're holding and where you see XCN going in the next couple of years. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more crypto price forecasts and deep dives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.